There is no better time to start a business than right now in this very moment, but a close runner-up is definitely the new year. So if you clicked on this video because you want to change your life this year coming up and start a business and find financial freedom, success, and happiness, you've come to the right place. I've compiled some of the most important things that come to mind when starting a business or running a business, some really important, crucial advice, things I had to learn the hard way, tips, helpful information, and just things I really wish I knew before I started. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Noelle. I've been an entrepreneur and small business owner for the last 3 years, and I post all things small business related on my channel. Now, all of this is coming from someone who started completely with a blank canvas. I had no help from anyone. Everything I know today is self-taught, and it was an extremely lonely and confusing road to do this all by myself, but I did it, and so can you. You can accomplish anything you want in life with perseverance, consistency, and just showing up. And most importantly, as long as you believe in yourself, you can do anything. And I really hope you find some peace and encouragement knowing that I was in your shoes just a couple years ago and I have completely transformed my life. It is possible. And those are just a couple words of encouragement because I know you're probably feeling scared, doubtful, fearful. Believe me, I've been there. So now let's just jump into this video, and there really is no rhyme or reason. This is truly just all the things that I wish someone had told me, and I promise you, you will find this video helpful and feel a lot more clarity after watching this. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so you probably got that hunch to start a business, you're excited, you want to be your own boss, all of that good stuff. And of course, you've asked yourself the question, what am I going to sell? Now, if you don't have an answer to this right away, that's okay. I promise you, you will figure it out. But here's just a little bit of advice. While I understand that a lot of people want to start a business for financial freedom, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if I could recommend something to you, it would be to start a business around something that you're passionate about. Because your happiness is so important too. What's the point of finding financial freedom if you're not going to be happy? And I know a lot of you might think money will make you happy. I promise you it won't. Happiness comes from within, and it's important to be fulfilled in yourself. So if you pick something that you're passionate about, you're following your purpose and your passion. And when you live in your purpose, abundance will follow you. So choose something that you actually love to do. And if you already know what you want to sell, this is something super crucial that you should keep in mind. Knowing what you want to sell and knowing who you're going to sell to are two completely different things. Just because you want to sell t-shirts doesn't mean everyone is meant to buy those t-shirts. There should be a very specific group of people that you want to target. You should know things about your target audience like how old are they? Are they male, female? What are their interests? What do they like? What are their problems? What are their fears? What are their worries? How can your product solve a problem for them? Knowing your target customer and how to speak to them is crucial if you want your business to be successful. When I first started, I was just making a bunch of different products without a marketing plan, without knowing who I was selling to. And of course, with time, I eventually figured it out, but these are things that I wish I had thought about before starting my business. Had I thought about who was actually my target customer, would have made my experience so much easier, and I guarantee I would have seen success a lot sooner, but that's something I had to learn the hard way. Something super important that I wish I had known going into this is that you have to be okay with the unknown. You have to be okay with not knowing how long it's going to take for you to see results, and you have to lose all expectations and just show up. We are so used to instant gratification that we don't have the patience to see things through. I did not profit at all from my business within the first 8 months. The couple $100s that I was making in those first 8 months went right back into the business. I did not see a dime of that. It could be shorter for you, it could be longer, who's to say? But you have to be okay with that, and you have to trust that when the timing is right, you will start to see results and success. Another huge piece of advice here, get comfortable being uncomfortable. See, these are things that are not talked about when it comes to starting a business, but it's super important to know that you are going to be very uncomfortable. Starting a business means taking risks and diving into the unknown, and that can be very scary and uncomfortable. So get used to it because nothing changes if nothing changes. If you do the same thing every day and expect different results, that's insanity. But when you step out of your comfort zone and try things you've never tried before, that is growth. And just like you're growing as a person, your business will follow and grow as well. This is something that people overlook and oftentimes don't realize that it's a problem. And that's lack of privacy and oversharing. Don't tell anyone your plans. Not everyone wants to see you win. And definitely don't ask anyone for advice that you wouldn't want to trade places with. What would Susan, your coworker waitress, know about starting a business? The only advice I ever take is from people who are doing better than me. And I don't mean that in a comparison way at all. I mean that in the sense of people who have already figured it out and I still have some work to do. Maybe I want to scale my business even bigger. Who am I going to turn to? People that have already done it, people that own 7-figure businesses. Those are the people I want to learn from. As far as telling people that you're going to start a business, I would only tell the people who absolutely have to know. For example, maybe the people in your household. But even then, family is not often your ally. So just be careful and use discernment. As far as what to expect going into this, there's one last thing that I want to touch on, and that is problem solving. And again, like many other things, this is just not talked about enough. Your ability to problem solve is going to be so vital and important for starting a small business. Of course, you're going into this completely blind. You have no idea where to start. But what I took away from my experience of owning a small business and when I first started is that your ability to problem solve is what's going to determine the success of your business. If you're the type of person that runs into a problem and immediately starts panicking, you need to change that response. You need to be able to run into a problem and not see it as an obstacle, rather a learning lesson. Owning a business comes with a lot of inconveniences and problems, but especially in the beginning, and that's why a lot of people give up and never see it through. And I was almost one of those people. There was so many times that I wanted to give up. But this shift in my mindset is what kept me going and what made me successful. Instead of focusing on the problem, I simply chose to focus on the solution. Because if you really think about it, a problem truly isn't a problem if there's a solution to it. And the only thing that doesn't have a solution is death. So go into this lighthearted and just know that it's truly not that deep. There is a solution for everything. It's just about figuring it out. Now that I've talked about some of the most important mindset aspects, if you will, I now want to move into a little bit of the technicalities and some things that you should oversee before starting a business. I know money is probably going to be super tight when you're first starting a business and funds will be limited. And this is more if you're planning to hand make your products, but it still could apply if you will be outsourcing. My advice to you is to not overstock or purchase too many quantities. And here's the reason why from my personal experience. I started my business by making embroidered sweatshirts, and as you know, sweatshirts come in many different sizes and colors. So I purchased so many varieties without knowing what sizes and designs are going to perform well. And I had stock sitting on my shelves for months before I was able to get rid of it. And some I honestly just ended up donating. So that's why I say do not overstock, because you'll probably just waste so much time, material, and money. I know you're probably feeling so excited and you want to stock those shelves and see them nice and full, but I promise you it's not the best business decision or use of funds when you're first starting out because you don't have a customer base yet. And the same principle applies if you're going to be outsourcing your products. This is one of those things that a lot of new small business owners fall victim to, and that is the cute, flashy, custom product packaging. While I do believe that cute aesthetic packaging can definitely elevate your product, if money is tight when you're first starting your business, it is not the best use of your funds. But don't get me wrong, when I was first starting out, I actually did have custom packaging, but I DIY'd almost everything. As a matter of fact, I have so many videos on my channel of DIY custom packaging and so many affordable ways that you can customize packaging for your business. But outsourcing custom packaging can be very expensive, especially at first, and it's probably not worth the investment just yet. Don't worry, your business will get there one day. I personally just wouldn't advise it. I don't think it's a wise or an important investment at first, especially if you don't have a customer base yet. Something pretty big that I overlooked when I first started my business because I didn't know any better was my logo. And what I mean by that is when you think of all these brands, and I'll just use Nike and Adidas as an example, their logos are short, sweet, and simple. It's nothing too fancy yet easily recognized and professional. When you're first starting out, chances are you're probably not going to have the funds to pay someone to design a whole logo or brand kit for you. And so like many other things, you'll probably have to do it yourself. I have tons of tutorials on how to design a logo for your business from scratch to make it look professional. All my tutorials are super beginner friendly, but it's important to know what to look for when creating a logo. or a brand that people will recognize and remember. These are also some important tips to know if you are going to be creating a logo from scratch. At the top here, you'll see some examples of an SVG style logo, and what that means is each color, shape, and text is profound and easily separated. You'll also see that there is not a huge range of colors, definitely I'd say under 5, but maybe 2 to 3 for that sweet spot. And on the bottom, you'll notice right away what a difference in professionalism there is in these logos compared to the ones on top. These logos have very intricate designs, the colors are scattered, and they're just not very well put together or professional looking. But apart from these logo tips, I think it's really important to know the difference between a logo and a brand identity. While it's important for your logo to be professional and put together, it is simply the visual aspect that people can recognize. Your brand identity is what you stand for and what message you're trying to send to your customers and what they can remember. Let's take Nike, for example. We all know it when we see it. That little check mark, we immediately know that that is Nike. So immediately we're able to recognize what brand that is. However, the just do it part is the message that we remember when it comes to Nike. Do you see the difference there? So when I think of Nike, I automatically think get up, get moving, get dressed in some comfortable clothes to go for a walk, go for a run, etc. Nike isn't just selling athletic wear, they're selling you an athletic and healthy lifestyle. That right there is Nike's identity, the message that they're sending to us, not the little checkmark logo. And that's why it's important to know how the logo and brand identity coexist. And if anyone is in need of some inspiration for finding a logo, I have a really helpful tool that you guys can use. You can head over to design.com and use their logo generator. All you have to do is enter your business name and hit create logos, and then it will prompt you with some keywords that you want to put for your business. Once you've entered those keywords, just hit continue and you will see all the different logos that it will generate for you. If you don't have any brand colors yet, this is also such a great way to brainstorm and kind of put together some colors that you might like. But if you do have some brand colors in mind, on the left here under logo styles, you can also go ahead and change your colors to whatever you'd like. I clicked the pink scale and you can see that it generated so many different shades of pink logos. And once you find a logo that you like, you can actually click on it and customize it further. You can go in and move some things around, delete things if you don't want, and on the right hand side you can see that there are so many different fonts to choose from. This is such a great helpful tool, especially if you're just starting a business and need a logo. So if you want to try out design.com's logo generator for free, I will have that linked in the description for you guys. Something that I wanted to touch on is a mistake that I see all the time with a lot of new small business owners that could actually be really hurting your growth. In this day and age, the best free marketing for your business is social media. That being said, your social media should only have the presence of your brand and nothing else. A lot of the times, new small business owners will use their current personal social media page to turn into a business page. Let me tell you why this is not going to work or will extremely delay your growth. I have a personal page on any social media platform. It doesn't matter. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it doesn't matter, right? I'm going to be scrolling on there, seeing a bunch of random stuff, liking a bunch of different things, and just a couple of my interests here. I'll just use as an example. I love nail polish. I like making sourdough. I like small business content, maybe some sports, dogs, fashion, all different types of things, right? So every time I scroll, I am interacting with all those different types of content. What a lot of new small business owners don't understand is that all of these platforms have algorithms. And so depending on what type of content you interact with, those platforms are going to categorize your page. Let's say that I watch a lot of sourdough videos. I interact with them the most, and that's my preference. Whatever social media platform I'm watching that on is not only going to send me more of that type of content, it's going to categorize my page as a sourdough page most likely because that's what I'm interacting with the most. So if I make that account my personal business page, but I'm watching all these sourdough types of videos and I go to post a video, guess what's going to happen? The algorithm is probably not going to push my videos in front of the intended audience because my page is categorized as a sourdough page. So that's why it's really important to start completely fresh with a new account for your business. And that account should be specifically only your business content and for your customers. You shouldn't be posting personal things on there. And let me give you an example. I have a candle business. All of my content should be revolved around my business. I shouldn't be posting any pictures of my dogs, my kids, my sourdough loaves, anything like that, because anyone that goes to search for my page should automatically know it is strictly a candle business. And the content that they're going to expect from that page is all about candles because maybe they're a candle lover. And this is super important for optimizing your account on your social media platforms to let the algorithms know what type of page you are and who to push your content to. Another silly example, but you wouldn't go to Chick-fil-A and expect to get tacos there, right? The same principle for your social media pages. You're Chick-fil-A, you're not going to be posting content about tacos. That could be a huge reason your business is not growing because your marketing is not reaching the right people. So that's why it's super important to optimize your account and only have your social media presence about your business. I'd say those are pretty much my top tips when it comes to starting a business. I'm sure there's so much more, and I have so many helpful videos on my channel if you're starting this journey. And if you watch this video all the way through, please leave a green heart in the comments and let me know what type of business you're thinking about starting. I hope you found this video helpful, and I really hope that you chase your dreams and start that business. And I really want you to know that you are so powerful and capable of creating the life of your dreams, and it starts right now after this video, so go get started. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any more questions or need some more advice, leave that in the comments down below and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video, and make sure to check out my TikTok and Instagram for more content, and I will see you in the next one.